Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the concept review of SolarBoat Twente. My name is Vera Ottens, and I am the team manager this year. I'm very happy that everyone in the audience, those at home, as well as here now, took the time to be here with us today. After this presentation, there will be a drink where you'll be able to ask all your questions to everyone in my team, as well as meet the other partners. Today, my team and I are going to tell you all about our goals and what we are doing to achieve them. We will face a lot of challenges, as you will hear all about in this presentation, but our main overall goal is reducing our body weight. Not the weight of our team members, of course, I would not dare to ask them that, but to reduce the weight of our boat. You will hear how every sub-team will contribute to this goal. In a few minutes, you will see the first ever visualized version of our concept. It's our vision, our dream, and our passion this year. But of course, I cannot do this all by myself. So let me first introduce you to this year's team of SolarBoat Twente. The management sub-team consists next to myself of Marike as our technical manager, Vera Nate as our communication manager and external affairs, and as with Thomas, our sustainability and innovation manager. Then we have our communication sub-team. Next to Vera, it consists of Lianne as our public relations and events, together with Anna Maria as our graphic designer. Our first technical sub-team is structural, consisting of Wouter, Ivo and Frank. Then we have our propulsion sub-team, consisting of Renze and Stijn. Then we have our electronics sub-team, consisting of our electronical engineers, Aaron and Niels. Then we have our hydrofoil sub-team, consisting of Pepijn and Dionne. Next to that, we have our control and software sub-team, consisting of Timo, our software engineer, and Joost, our control system engineer. And last but certainly not least, we have our sub-team Sustainability and Innovation, together with Thomas and Anna Maria as our Sustainability and Innovation Engineer. And that's the team of SolarBoat Twente this year. We are extremely excited to be part of this journey as we are continuing to innovate the project even further. First, let me introduce the management team. Ja.
Ik loop really achter.
Ja. Hoe doen we dat morgen? Oh.
Maar nu zit ik helemaal aan de knoop met dit.
Hoi.
Hier heeft zijn eigen.
As team manager, my task is to make sure the project runs as smoothly as possible and to make sure the team works like a well-oiled machine.
As you may have seen before, our team consists of several sub-teams, and each sub-team is responsible for their own part of the boat. As technical manager of SolarBoat Twente, my job is to make sure that all the different elements come together in one working and successful boat.
And I'm the communication manager and in charge of external affairs this year, which means that where Marike forms the bridge between all the sub-teams, all the technical sub-teams, I form the bridge between SolarBoat Twente and the outside world.
I'm the Sustainability and Innovation Manager, and I'm managing our newest sub-team this year. Our mission at SolarBoat Twente is to inspire the maritime sector to be more sustainable. What? Te dichterbij, oké. Our mission at SolarBoat Twente is to inspire the maritime sector to be more sustainable. And our strength as a student team comes from that we do not need to make a profit each year, and therefore we can spend our time researching new ideas, especially in the area of sustainability. And this is exactly where I go in, because this year I will be looking into what new possibilities SolarBoat Twente can research in the future.
Yes, and we believe that as students we can really make a difference. We want to make a difference in the maritime sector by firstly spreading our philosophy to as many businesses as possible. For example, we already have our great network of partners who know about our project, but we also want to inform new companies about how innovative we are as a student team.
Besides spreading our philosophy through our partners, we are also participating in races. During these races, we want to show the world all the developments we've made. And we already participated in our first friendly race in Snake, in which we even became third.
I don't think we clap.
We don't clap.
No?
No.
Okay,
They clap.
then I continue. No. Okay. This year, after a long time of producing, testing and optimizing our boats, we will be ready for the new racing season. First, we will participate in the National Championship in Akrum. And then, at the pinnacle of our year of hard work, we will make every effort to sail at our fastest during the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge.
I think I can speak for everyone in our team if I say that we're all extremely motivated to work this year and we'll be working towards the same goal. You will see now every sub-team separately to understand how they contribute to the boat, what their goals are and how they're going to achieve them. Let me first introduce the communication team to the stage to talk about their goals.
Yeah, if you want to. Together with Lianne and Anna Maria, I form the communications sub-team. As already said before, our role is to link SolarBoat Twente to the outside world. But our main goal is to promote our motto, innovation to inspire, to all of our target groups, but especially to the maritime sector.
Since our world is working towards a more sustainable future, the maritime sector cannot and should not be ignored. That is why we want to inspire the maritime sector of becoming greener. We are doing this as a student team by building a solar-powered racing boat. As a student team, we dare to implement the newest technologies into our boat.
As a communications sub-team, we have set some specific sub-goals in order to really extend our project to the outside world. First of all, we believe that it's very important to maintain our current good relationships with our current partners, while also establishing new and long-lasting relations with potential partners. SolarBoat Twente would be nowhere near where we are right now if it hadn't been for our partners. So thank you all.
This year, we also want to focus on our brand recognition. This is where I, as a graphic designer, and Liana, as public relation, come in. We find it important that people all over the Netherlands fully grasp the core essence of our project, and attractive illustrations will only help our case further. This year, we also want to raise awareness for sustainability and innovation. We find it important that our current partners and the general public are kept up to date with the future of SolarBoat Twente, and to really promote our motto, innovation to inspire.
You might now ask, how are we going to achieve these goals? First of all, we find it really important that our network keeps informed about our progress. We are doing this by regular newsletters and consistent updates on our social media platforms. Besides that, we want to expand our network by going to maritime exhibitions and talking to the new businesses. And lastly, we have events like these, where we inform our partners and give them a better insight of our progress. And but besides these progress, it's also a good opportunity for our partners to expand their own network.
So, in conclusion, we strive to promote our motto, innovation to inspire, to the maritime sector as well as the general public. But of course, without a boat, that would not be possible. This is where our technical manager, Marike, plays a crucial role.
Yes, of course. Without a boat, we would not be SolarBoat Twente. And that is why this year we're making a completely new boat, which will be lighter than ever before. This is a previous boat, which we've sailed with for about 3 years. The boat before that had the same shape, it was only a little longer. This year we're doing something completely different, something new. For the first time in 7 years, we're using a new mold, resulting in a new shape of our boat. This will make sure that the boat will be lighter. All 6 teams before us have worked hard to get us where we are now, and we are happy that we can continue working on their knowledge and experience. And I'm proud to present you all the goals and plans for the upcoming year. So now your big question is, of course, what will the new boat look like? Well, the time has finally come to show you the concept of our newest SolarBoat Twente. You just saw our newest concept of the boat, and structural team will tell you now all about it.
Thank you, Marike. Let's start with the process. Okay, thank you, Marike. Let's start with the process. We will build a new hull. The hull can be seen as the main shell of the boat, where all the components will be lying in. Is gewoon weg. Yeah, what would the boat do without a hull? Maybe swim? No, that doesn't make sense. That's where we come in place. We are a structural team. We will build the hull. My name is Wouter, and together with Ivo and Frank, we will be responsible for the new boat this year. Fuck. Het is gewoon weg. Ook gebeurt het morgen niet. Nee, ik ken het wel, maar... By analyzing by analyzing the main structures of the boat, we will design the new hull and take the Monaco race regulations into account. These are very strict and are really important to consider. But apart from these regulations, we still are able to freely design the boat ourselves. But what is the most important when designing a new boat? It will be the balance between the strength and the weight of the boat.
Perhaps strength is the most important factor to consider in our boat. Because you can't win a race with a boat that breaks halfway through the race. So therefore, we as a structural sub-team are responsible for ensuring that the structural integrity of the boat is sufficient to withstand even extreme conditions in Monaco, such as big waves and extreme winds. Another thing we want to optimize on is reducing the weight of the boat. In order to achieve this, we use a sandwich structure in which we have carbon, adhesive, and foam, and another layer of adhesive and carbon on top. The adhesive is necessary for connecting the foam with the carbon. Carbon and foam are both very lightweight materials, yet very strong. So for this reason, we are able to optimize the weight of our boat. And therefore our boat will be lightweight and very strong. This is exactly the balance we are looking for.
So, what will we be doing during our year as a structural engineer? We will continue the work of the last year's structural engineers. Last year a design has been made of for the new boat. And we will have the important task of building the new boat and implementing all systems into that new boat. The new boat will consist out of a few parts: the hull, the ribs, and the deck. The hull is the casing in which all the other systems are built into. The ribs give strength to the hull, like bones in the human body, and the deck is the lid on which all the other systems, on which the solar panels are built. So what have you done to now on during this year? We have been busy with finalizing the design of the hull, with calculating the place and the needed strength for the ribs, and preparing for the production. So now we have been talking quite a lot about the new design. In this new design, the side floaters are placed more towards the front of the boat to make sure that nosediving is harder. This is due to a greater floating power at the front of the boat. But what are some more advantages of this new design? Wouter, will tell you more about that.
As we're aiming to foil every unnecessary kilogram that will be a waste of energy. So we are aiming to reduce the total weight of the boat. This is realized by removing all the initial volume that is not needed for the actual boat. A great example of this is the back of the boat. Compared to less boats, this is way slimmer than less boats, resulting in a great reduction of weight. Another important factor is the solar panels. We still have the same amount of solar panels, same area of solar panels, but as they are much more efficiently placed, this will be also a major weight saving.
We currently don't have the new hull yet. The last few months we've been busy with ensuring that we have a mold. We can use the mold to lay our carbon in the appropriate shape for our boat. The upcoming weeks, we as a structural sub-team will be busy with building the actual boat.
So soon we will have a plain boat, but that doesn't work yet. So we have to make sure to keep close contact with all the other sub-teams, so that their subsystems are going to work inside our boat. So then we have a floating boat, but that boat also needs to move. Dus the propulsion sub-team will tell you more about that.
Thank you, Structural. My name is Renze and this is Stijn, and we are the propulsion sub-team. We make sure that the boat can move through the water, and without us, we would only have a floating boat. Since a floating boat won't win a race, we need a system that moves it through the water. That system is the backstrut. The backstrut is the red part, of which the current one weighs about 9 kilograms. Our main goal this year is to reduce the weight of the backstrut so we can move faster by dragging along less weight. What we want to do by making a new backstrut, which will be thinner than the current one. But what will the new backstrut look like? Stijn will tell you more about this.
The backstrut is powered by an electric motor, which is placed inside the boat so it's safe from any water damage. The motor rotates the vertical shaft, which transfers the rotation to the gears. The gears control how much power is transferred to the horizontal shafts. This year we'll use smaller gears in the new backstrut to reduce weight. In the current backstrut, the gears are contained inside the gearbox, which is a metal box containing the gears. The gearbox will be removed in the new backstrut by integrating the gearbox into it, so we can make the backstrut thinner and therefore lighter.
Since the new backstrut will be thinner, the current propeller will not fit. Therefore, a new propeller will be made. This new propeller will use the same concept as the current propeller, which consists of two parts that rotate in opposite directions. The propeller is outside of the backstrut, which makes maintenance on the propeller easier. If maintenance needs to be carried out inside the backstrut, it needs to be opened. Luckily, the backstrut is made of two halves, so it could be opened by unscrewing the bolts. When the backstrut is unbolted, the halves can be separated. This could be tricky, since the backstrut has no ridges to pull the halves apart. This could damage the seam, allowing the water to enter the backstrut. To prevent this, we will introduce a new fastening technique this year. By cutting additional bigger threads into the new backstrut, we can screw the halves apart. Now that we have shown how the backstrut can be taken apart, how do we connect the backstrut to the boat?
Good question, Renze. The backstrut is connected to the boat by the top nacelle. This year we will make a new top nacelle to fit the new backstrut to the new boat. The top nacelle is embedded into the boat through a tube. With the new boat we have the opportunity to optimize this tube. We want to make the tube wider so there's more space for internal components, so maintenance will be easier and the tube can be made future-proof. We are also going to make the tube longer. Currently the tube does not rise above the water level. By lengthening the tube, it will rise above the water level. This will decrease the risk of water entering the boat. These are our plans for propulsion this year. We think they will make the new backstrut better. No matter how good the backstrut is, without electricity it won't work. This is where the electronic subteam comes in.
Thank you, Rens and Stijn. Hello everyone, my name is Aaron and this is Niels, and this year we are the electronic sub-team. We are responsible for creating a great electronic system in our boat that will work reliably and robust all the time, hopefully. Now, without the electronic system, we wouldn't have any energy to fly, to go forward, to do anything. So, let's start with an overview of the parts that we have in our boat. First of all, we are SolarBoat Twente, so of course we have solar panels on our boat. So on top of our solar deck, there are a lot of solar cells that convert the solar energy into the electric energy that we can use in the boat. Now, these solar panels are not always operating at their maximum efficiency. So there's a certain optimum point where they can operate, which is called the maximum power point, at which you always want to be operating. In order to make sure that this happens, we have the maximum power point trackers. These are devices in the back of the boat that ensure that this always happens. Now let's say that there's a lot of sun and we're stationary, we're going very slowly, we're not using a lot of energy, but we are generating a lot of it. It would be a shame to let it go to waste. So this is why we have the battery, in order to buffer this energy for when we need it most. So for example, during a sprint, or when there's a cloud in front of the sun, we can use this energy from the battery in order to still be able to fly our boat. Then, of course, we have the electric motor that drives our boat forward, in combination with a highly efficient motor controller that we developed in cooperation with Solar Team Twente. Now this is an overview of all the parts that we have in our boat, but of course we're going to do some very interesting innovations this year, and this is what Niels will tell you all about.
Thank you, Aaron, for the overview of the boat. In the new boat, we are going to make a new solar deck. This solar deck converts our solar energy into the energy that we can use in our boat. To make this as efficient as possible, we use the maximum power point trackers. This year we'll be developing new maximum power point trackers together with our main partner Newways. We hope to gain an extra efficiency of 15% with this step. This is equal to being able to drive, for example, 10 kilometers extra during our endurance. The next innovation that we'll be doing is upgrading our voltage system to a 60-volt system. This will allow us to have a better energy transfer in between the components and have little losses. These losses will then also enable us to go further. With the new boat, we will also have to reintegrate all the other old systems of the boat. This will be done by connecting all the new wires, and in the end, yeah. So now that we've shown what we are going to do this year, I would like to invite Vera back onto the stage with me to do a nice interactive part with you guys.
Thank you, Niels and Aaron. We will now indeed move on to a quiz where you will get some questions about what you have heard so far. Underneath your sheet there are some colored cards. You can use those cards to let us know what you think the answer should be. We will now move on to the first question. The first question is about how many kilograms we want to reduce our weight. You heard us talking a lot about reducing the weight of our boat. The current boat is 130 kilograms. With how many kilograms do we want to reduce the following boat? Is that A, 5, B, 10, C, 20, or D, 30? Well, indeed, it's 30 kilograms. Yes, you got it all right. We want to reduce the kilograms with 30 kilograms, and this is now 22% of the current boat. So that's quite a lot we want to reduce.
So then we'll move on to what you just listened to, the electronics part. So this year we're going to innovate our solar deck. This will produce around 1400 watt hours for us. But how many cell phones can we charge with this? Yes, green. You're right. We can indeed do 250 phones.
Yes, now to the third question, and the most interesting one if you ask me. From all the sub-teams you have seen so far, which one is the most important, do you guys think? Is that A, management and communication, B, structural, C, propulsion, or D, electronics? Oh yes, it was indeed a tricky question. Of course it's all four. No other ship team is more important than another one, so yeah, we need all four of them. And actually all 8 of them.
That leaves us to the last question. Our boat also has hydrofoils. These enable us to fly out of the water. What flying object has the same efficiency as our boat? It's A and B. Ik heb dat stukje tekst ook helemaal niet gezien.
Then was that the quiz. Thank you for collaborating. Then we will now move on to the hydrofoil sub-team.
The solar panels and the propulsion system are really essential for making a solar boat. But what if you can make the boat faster? What if you can make the boat more efficient? That's what me, Pepijn, and my colleague Dionne aim to do this year. I believe we can fly. And now I'm going to tell you why. Underneath the hood of the boat, there will be three wings attached by using struts. One in the back, attached to the back strut, and two in the front, attached to the front struts. These wings will just like in planes, the wings generate an upwards force. This upwards force will lift the hull out of the water and therefore reduce the drag significantly. And here's a video of our boat foiling. Next to this looking very cool, why are we actually foiling? Foiling reduces the overall drag significantly. The large area under the boat collides with the water a lot, and that subdues it to a lot of drag. Okay. After reaching the takeoff speed, only the 3 struts and the 3 wings will collide with the water, and that will reduce the drag significantly. The higher force thus allow us to increase the maximum speed from 30 kilometers an hour sailing to 48 kilometers an hour during foiling. By reducing the lift that is needed to keep the boat in the air, we can sail even faster. We can manage that by making the boat lighter and lighter. So when we reach our goal of reducing the weight of the boat by 30 kilometers an hour, we can sail even 3 kilometers an hour faster. But we just saw a video of a boat foiling. So what will we actually doing this year? Indeed, last year we were able to fly steadily through the water. But sadly, during the race in Monaco, we broke one of our struts. Therefore, we will revise the design of the struts with the goal to improve reliability and resolve some practical issues. Because we are redesigning the entirety of the struts, we can also take a look at the hinging mechanism. The hinging mechanism makes us able to change the angle of the foil and therefore change how much lift is generated. By incorporating the hinge inside of the strut, we can make it a more streamlined shape, and therefore the strut foil connection will have a more hydrodynamic efficiency. We change the angle of the foil using a push and pull rod, which is actuated by a motor and connected to the hinge of the foil. Previously, this system was actuated by a motor inside of the strut. This made the strut very bulky and also had some issues with water tightness. This year, we will put the motor outside of the strut and place it horizontally inside of the boat. This motor will be connected to a lever, which translates the horizontal motion to vertical motion. This is then connected to a push and pull rod that pushes and pulls the hinge so that we can change the angle of the foil. But how is the foiling actually controlled? Control and software will tell you more about this.
Thank you, Dion and Pepijn. As mentioned before, our boat will use hydrofoils to lift the hull out of the water and therefore decrease drag and increase top speed and sailing efficiency. However, a foiling boat is an unstable system, which needs to be constantly adjusted. Similarly to balancing a broomstick on your hand, you constantly have to move your hand to keep it upright. Similarly, we have to constantly adjust the foils to ensure stable flight. That's where we come into play. Me, Timo as software engineer, and Joost as control system engineer. But where do we start the process?
In our boat, multiple sensors are integrated. These sensors help us keep track of important variables, like the boat's height above the water, its orientation and speed. Measurements from these sensors are filtered to extract useful information. The information that is sent to us via these sensors can be seen here in white, is quite noisy, and by using filters we can extract a true signal to get the actual useful information. This year we'll be looking into advanced filtering techniques to improve this noise reduction and gather more quality data. This will enable us to foil more stably.
All the sensors and other systems in the boat need to be connected and controlled. This is done using data cables. They are connected using data cables similar to the internet cables you have at home. Cables throughout the whole boat send information from the sensors to the BrainPi, which is not a cake, but a tiny computer which is the brain of our boat. On this computer, a program runs which reads all the sensor information and makes sure the right actions are happening. For example, we have the throttle sensor. It reads the amount of thrust provided by the pilot and then decides on how fast the motor should spin and tells this to the motor. Another example is the adjusting of our foils. Several different sensors take in information about the position of the boat, which is then sent to the BrainPi, which then decides on the angles of our foils and which then sends that information to the foils.
But how does the BrainPi decide what angles the foil should have? For this, a control system is used. We instruct this control system with a certain reference for the boat to follow, like for example a certain height above the water that we want to sail at. The control system then uses the measurement data from the sensors and to figure out the real height above the water. It then compares this actual value to the desired value and uses the difference to calculate the required angles of the hydrofoils. This calculation is done by using a dynamic model of the boat. By doing this whole process from gathering the actual data, comparing it to our reference, and then calculating the required angles is done for 40 times a second, and this allows us to stably foil. This year we'll be improving the dynamical model and also the references the system follows, which will allow us to foil in more rough water, like in Monaco.
But what will happen after Monaco and the years after us? The Sustainability and Innovation team will tell you all about it.
As mentioned before, this is Anna Maria and I'm Thomas, and together we formed the newest sub-team, Sustainability and Innovation. This sub-team was started last year after our team realized, together with our partners, that SolarBoat Twente could be innovating more, and namely in the area of sustainability. Through this process and by looking at the new possibilities for SolarBoat Twente, we intend to keep our stakeholders satisfied and involved as we look into new possibilities for our future.
And that begs the question, how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to be continuing the 3-year plan that was set out. The aim of this plan is to dedicate more time to do extensive research into bigger innovations as opposed to the regular team structure where small improvements are made each year. Currently, we're in the 2nd year of the 3-year plan. Last year, possible concepts were generated with the help of our partners and through extensive market research. This year, concepts will be analyzed in great detail so that by the end of the year, some concepts will be chosen. Concepts include both technological advancements which can be researched within a few years and long-term challenges that SolarBoat Twente could keep working towards. The aim of this year is to hand the next year's team a set of challenges that are hand next year's team a set of concepts that are well thought out and can be executed within that year or the years to come.
Currently, we're working hard on contacting experts in the field to see what they have to say about any possible concepts that we have right now. If you feel that you can contribute something here to the process, either technical knowledge or maybe you have some inspiration for new ideas for us, please come talk to either Anna Maria or I after the concept reveal presentation, or you can always swing by our office, or for the viewers at home, please send us an email. We're always looking for new ideas. We're very excited to see what the future will hold for SolarBoat Twente, as there are many possibilities for us.
Sustainability and Innovation Subteam, this concept review comes to an end. I want to thank you all for coming and listening to us. It was very great to be able to share our ideas and concepts with you. Thank you for that. I hope, of course, that we will achieve all these ambitious goals. But of course, that would not be possible with our great network of partners. So thank you all for that. I also want to give New Ways a special thanks for making our dreams reality this year. And of course, all the people at home can also contribute to making our goals reality. On the slide, you will see a QR code as well as a link sent in the chat. Those will lead you to our crowdfunding. Every small amount helps. And after this presentation, there will be a drink. You can follow my team members to show you where it is. It is in the room downstairs. So I hope to see you all there. And once again, thank you for coming here and listening to us. Let's fly lighter over the finish line in Monaco.